Hey guys, Culver here. Welcome to another Racial Legends video. Guys, the 2x weekend for Voids is almost over. We've got like 12 hours left, and many of you probably got one Void Legendary. Maybe you got one Void Legendary. One of them might have been Baron. So this is going to be a Baron showcase guide, whatever you want to call it. It's not going to be really a guide because I don't think he's ideally built for me right now. I don't have him fully maxed out in terms of showcasing his full potential. I'm not going to try him out in the clan boss, where I do think he might have some potential in unkillable teams. But we'll talk about that in a bit. So, guys, first of all, Baron, he's a legendary Bannerlord's champion. I have him built with 2 critical damage sets and 1 immortal set. The reason being, the immortal set is just one that had very good stats on it, so I had to use it on a damage delay, and it also helps out for my faction wars. It makes him a bit tankier through there. So he has 1,000 reviews. Most of them have him in campaign locations as a 4.6 and then 4.5 arena, Spider's Den Dragon, and it goes down here on the list. Overall, he looks to be good, but in my opinion, after my playthrough and a bit of more gameplay, I don't think he's like a top tier champion that deserves a 4.5 to a 5. So some people like rated him as a 5 and some as a 4. I don't think he really deserves a 5 in some of the areas, although some of them he's okay when he gets his procs. So overall, I built him like with a ton of damage just so I can see how much damage he can get out of his very special passive. So we'll look at that in a bit. So 4.5k attack, 134 speed. That's very low, by the way. I'd rather have 200 speed on him instead of, all this critical damage. But we're trying to see the damage numbers here, guys. We don't want to see him, take a ton of turns. We want to see like the huge damage numbers, and then maybe I can put in speed boots instead. So I'll gain another, 40 speed there, getting as close to 200 speed as possible. That's what I always recommend, and then go for the damage stats. So here we're just trying to see how much damage he can get. So 4.7k attack and 270% critical damage there with 100% critical rate. So he will always crit, and crit with the huge numbers in there as well. So what does his kit have? We're gonna see that in a bit. Attack on the ring, critical damage on amulet, attack on the banner. So this one's not fully maxed out. I could probably push to 5,000 attack if I had everything maxed out. Attack percentage on the chest and boots. That's why my speed is so low. And critical damage on the amulet, on the gloves. If those were fully maxed out, so 6-star, I would have a bit more critical damage. Possibly with better gear, I could have my critical damage close to 300%. So let's go over his skills, guys, and I'm gonna just tell you my opinion of them. So Trample, it's his A1. Attacks one enemy, will attack all remaining enemies with any surplus damage. If the target's killed, has a 10% chance to unlock a secret skill, Skypiercer, for 1 turn. So the attacks one enemy, it's not a bad skill, but then will attack all remaining enemies with any surplus damage if the target is killed. This one, not many champions in the game have this, but the ones that did have it, so for example, Dracomorph had it before. He had it and it could crit, but also could crit for triple the damage. But instead now it won't crit and it will still do like triple the damage. This one though will always crit if you have like 100% crit, and it does not do triple the damage, just does the surplus amount of damage on the target instead. So I do like this part because you're gonna see why in the campaign he can actually be your farmer. Baron can be your farmer just because of this A1, and it's so cool. So Skypiercer, we'll look at that in a bit because every single one of the skills that Baron has actually has a chance to apply that Skypiercer skill. So Split Asunder, attacks one enemy, places 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns, so 100% chance to apply it. And then it says the debuff is guaranteed. So debuff is guaranteed. It just shows like how old of a champion Baron is. So basically, it's like this debuff cannot be resisted. This is what it means, but it's worded differently. So this debuff cannot be resisted, and it's instead like worded, this debuff is guaranteed. So it means the same thing if you guys were wondering. Has a 20% chance of unlocking a secret skill, Skypiercer. So double the chance when you use this skill. So if I had him fully maxed out, then the potential to proc his extra skill more times would be way higher because of lower cooldowns on his skills that have a higher chance to proc it. So that's why I said it's not gonna be a full on overview of this champion, because ideally maybe I could have tried him out with a Relentless set in the clan boss, and maybe there he could bring out some huge numbers. Maybe in the future. Leave it down in the comments if you want to see that. I'll try that in the Bad Eater combo. So, next up, right choose charge attacks one enemy. Damage increase according to the number of buffs on this champion. Has a 40% chance to unlock a secret skill, Skypiercer, for 1 turn. So here we say another double the chance of his A2, so 40% chance instead to do, to get that Skypiercer going. Damage increase according to the number of buffs. If you got a team that can buff up this champion, it means that he will be doing way more damage with right choose charge instead. Seems cool enough, but really the damage there isn't that crazy. I mean, if this was like double the damage and triple the damage depending on the buffs, this would have been huge for him. 4 turns cooldown for a single target skill. It wouldn't be bad for the clan boss. And next up, finally, we have Skypiercer. Attacks all enemies, deals cure damage, will ignore shield and block damage buff. So what is cure damage? Cure damage basically also ignores defense. That's what it is, guys, but it's again worded differently than all the other skills. I don't know why Plarium was wording champions differently when it was making it in the old times and they didn't come back to change it. I just think it causes more confusion to all the players. And finally, guys, his aura is an all ally attack in all battles by 33% increase. I do find that this is just amazing if you want to use him in the lead for some of the dungeons, and also maybe for arena. I don't think you're going to use him in the lead for other areas. Maybe also the clan boss in certain setups, like unkillable setups. Again, you can use him there in the lead instead of somebody else. So finally, guys, is Masteries. His Masteries are built much more differently that I would like to showcase. So I do have him with War Master here instead. Let me show you guys. So War Master is built on my Baron because I use him in Faction Wars, and having that percentage health damage instead is way more beneficial for him. But if you want to showcase him and try him out in the arena, then maybe Helm Smasher and his flawless execution skills might have been way better. Of course, to get huge numbers, you would go flawless execution or Helm Smasher. Giant Slayer is a no-go for him just because of his A1 being a single target skill. So overall, I didn't go for the support tree. You could go for the support tree if you want to get that A2 landing, a 3-turn decreased defense instead of just a 2-turn. I don't think it's so beneficial as the defense tree. The defense tree gives you that chance for retribution. It gives you some damage reduction here from AoE attacks, so it helps out in certain situations depending on where you're going to use Baron. So this is the build I have on him. It's a very simple build. Of course, as I said, I went for War Master instead and didn't change it for this showcase because I do think War Master is way more beneficial for Baron when you go in places like the Faction Wars. So next up, showcasing the champion. First, we're gonna go to the campaign, guys. Campaign, I think you're gonna be surprised on how good he is in the campaign. We're gonna do 12-3. We can do any of the stages really, and it will still be the same thing. Let's do 12-6, which is arguably a bit harder than the other ones. And you're gonna notice that let's do one on auto first, and you're gonna see the difference. Okay, one on auto. He goes in, he uses that A2 first just to apply that defense down, and you saw that actually my banner procced, so he gained that cooldown back. So he went for that A2 again. There's his A1. You saw that A1. There's that A1 again. So he clears the wave so fast. And it's just amazing when he does his A1. I would instead rather have him use his A1 on auto. All the times he would become a crazy good farmer. But still, as you can see, he just uses that A2 in the beginning. And if that is over and doesn't proc again from a banner, he's going to use A1 to clear up the wave. So I'm gonna go in now and just use A1 without being on auto. So I had it on auto when I went in. So if you go in and do this on manual and just click on the targets and then go to the next wave and click again, he just clears the waves too fast. So we'll go in and you're gonna see I can actually farm it at 6 seconds if this game loads up. So if you ever want to do this on manual, you can do it. So look at that, 85k surplus hits, 93k. And then we go for you know, another 45k. So 7 seconds to do 12.6. Just a fantastic time. And it's crazy good for Baron because it showcases that surplus damage that his A1 does. That's how he does basically an AoE damage, because his A1 kills the target and then that target kills all the rest, and that crits. So it's so cool to see, and I wish that was how he worked on auto, so he would have internal calculations on how the enemies would die from his A1. That would be so cool. So he would do A1 only and go for the kill and farm it extremely quickly. So next up, let's just try him somewhere like the Dragon's Lair is a good place. We can try him out. I have this team set up right here. I don't want to use too many damage dealers. I want to probably maybe use some buffers in there just to see how many buffs he can have and use that A3. So if you guys remember that A3 does damage depending on how many buffs he has on himself. So here we have like a ton of buffs. So 4 buffs here. Some of them are not really needed. So the critical rate buff is not really needed since I have him already with 100% crit. So maybe if I didn't have him 100% crit, then look at that. He went for that A2 there. The decreased defense. We want to see that A3 damage and potentially see some big numbers out of him. So I'll just put this on manual, and I want to see how big of numbers we can get on this Baron. So he has the support of his team. That's why he has so many buffs. He has protection from Krisk in terms of the shield. And he also gains a ton of buffs. So let's look at that A3. Hopefully we get some big numbers. Let's see. Oh, was that 100k? So with 6 buffs, he did 100k. To be honest, that's not a huge number for the amount of critical damage that I have on him. And for, I don't know, the critical rate and the amount of buffs, I didn't see any significant difference than having another kind of damage dealer in there. With the same kind of gear, I would have had huge numbers. So my Ray does way more damage with that kind of gear. My Cadraphone does way more damage. He's just subpar for a Void Lego. I think he needs you know, a buff there. Maybe if I had more books in him, he would get another, what, 20% more damage there. So 120k. Again, with the amount like, because he's a Void champion, he should have been way better in my opinion. He needs a buff somewhere there. Maybe something else that gives him an extra turn so he has more chances to do his Skypiercer. So there's the Skypiercer, 150k as an AoE. I was talking and didn't notice it, but I got it right in the end. That's the only way he can create those huge numbers with Skypiercer. So he does an ignore defense. That's just fantastic when it happens. And it makes sense to see huge numbers there. It definitely helps in Faction Wars, I want to say. So look at that A2 guaranteed defense down. That's always great. And that's why I said I would love to try him out in the clan boss, but I would totally need to regear him with Relentless and like properly test him out. I would like to see how much damage he can get overall. So look at that. Righteous. He did his A3 there, 133k. So a bit more here on the dragon because we had weaken there, and the only reason we had weaken actually was from Arbiter, which is surprising. She barely has any accuracy, so she did apply that weaken and definitely helped there. So this team is not a farm team or anything. I'm just showcasing his damage in a potentially end game kind of team, trying to get the maximum out of that Baron. So up to here, I'm not really surprised. And that's why I said in the beginning, he's not really worth that 5 rating that some gave him. Of course, the campaign, he's definitely with 5 there. Although he doesn't really work like that on Otto. And on Nightmare, he just dies. He cannot tank those hits with the amount of gear that he has right now. He's more damage focused instead of you know, being defensively focused. So let's go in the arena. We don't even have any tokens, but let's just buy some tokens. Okay, this is a bot team. Okay, this is a bot team, so we can't really showcase him again here. Don't want to refresh the bot team, so I might just skip this. So we want to see the defense down on weaken. We want to see Baron hitting, and then what other kind of buffs do we need? Oh, maybe just a shield from Krisk, so he gains a bit more damage from his A3. So we get the attack up. We'll do defense down and weaken. Hopefully they don't die from that. And there's the provoke. Please don't die. Oh, he died. Okay. So actually, let's just do a refresh here. Okay, we get some proper teams here now. Okay, this looks like a proper team. We could try out our damage. And now what we're trying to do is apply that defense down and weaken with with Venus, so we can see the full potential of that A3 in terms of damage. I don't want to see that go grab taking a turn. So he died actually from my Venus. Yeah, that Venus is built for damage for my clan boss team. So let's go in there with that A1. And now we want to see that Baron do something big with that A3. So let's go on Septimus. So he's low on health. So we get the benefit from our Masteries. Let's see how big of a number we can get. 142k, not bad. But I mean, if you don't proc Skypiercer, yeah, if you don't proc Skypiercer, he's not really gonna do a ton of damage. Maybe as a finisher, maybe he could be doing something there. Maybe his A1 as a finisher, so maybe I can use him in a kind of blender team. So I'll try that next though. So my idea here, guys, is in a blender team, my Skull Crown will go first, and then he would be hitting last and actually doing that final hit and possibly just finishing everybody off. So let's try it here and let's see if my test works out. So let's see if he can work in a blender. Oh, look at that. The blender Baron. I was actually surprised. Okay, but it does work. It wouldn't work versus teams that actually survive. Look at that. Okay, we didn't kill. So we didn't kill everybody there. A2 there. And then finally for finally for Skullcrown to finish it off. So let's try a bit more with the blender team. I'm liking this instead of just using him in a kind of testing team. So here Baron didn't even go, which is bad. So he didn't go because the target died from Skullcrown. So the AI doesn't really work like that. There's no reason for him to go and attack if the target's dead before. So, okay, let's find tankier targets, please. Okay, this one has a Warlord. We should get a fun team here. Let's see. So here, like Skullcrown was the worst target we could have gone for because she cannot die from a one shot. And we might even die here. Once Skullcrown goes, yeah, we almost died there. What we need here is a revive, and yeah, this is not really a showcase of Baron. Come on, do your thing. Oh, let's go. Buffing everybody up. There's the all ally attack. Ah, there's the extra attack. So 61k to finish off Warlord. Yeah, nice little damage there. And Hegemon now. What's Hegemon gonna do? Is he gonna kill us? No. There's that counter. Would it be funny if the counter killed him? So here the stupid AI from Karakum didn't really help us out. There's that 8-2. Get a revive. I want to see Baron's A3 in, look at that, 41k, nothing crazy. So I would like to see Baron's A3 in an arena situation here. So this is the best chance we're gonna have, seeing his A3 in an arena situation. Let's see. He didn't proc it though. What I would like to see instead from Baron is like a higher chance to proc that passive. That extra move, not passive, extra move. So he's more like Mortu Macab. Mortu Macab has a very similar skill, but it's like a 20% chance to proc it, and basically does the same thing, like ignores defense, if I remember. So and also does a block revive. Baron's does not do a block revive. So this was the showcase, guys. Baron, I don't know, Baron. You didn't really like when I got Baron. I was like, okay, great. We got a Baron. We got a Void legendary. How good is he? The chat wasn't so happy about it, and then I took him to 60. He definitely helped in my Faction Wars team, and I'll do a video on my Faction Wars Banner Lords team for sure in the future because I want to showcase that. I've got like an all legendary team. Doesn't do all that great as you might have thought. Actually, it's not an all legendary team. It's the Stag Knight in there instead of Cillian the Unlucky. So, guys, thanks a lot for watching this Baron video, this Baron gameplay. If you want to see him somewhere else with totally different gear, leave it down in the comments below. I love trying out my champions in all areas of the game and showcasing it in a video. If you do guys want to see that, of course, just leave a like. Help the YouTube algorithm take that video way up and showcase it to all others who might be interested in Baron and Baron's skills and damage. So, thanks a lot, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. See you guys.